So this is a bit of a different episode today. So I'm here at the beach at La Jolla, for those that are watching the video. And this is one of my very favorite places in San Diego at La Jolla Shores. This is where I often come and swim with my open water swim friends and triathlon friends. And my daughter is actually here today out there having an open water swim lesson with my coach, Sydney. And I just wanted to hop on here today because if anyone listened to last week's episode, I interviewed Cindy Kuzma, who we talked a lot about rebounding from injuries and coming back into sport. And here I am, it's been a week later, and I am supposed to be on my way to Ventura, California for a marathon on Sunday. But as life has had some changes in the last week, and I'm not going. And I wanted to talk a little bit about why I decided not to go. I do have a mild injury, but you don't see me on crutches or in a wheelchair or crying on the floor. It's not horrible yet, so I am being proactive about it. So long story short, you know, when you're training for something, it's normal to have some niggles going on. That's pretty normal, and a lot of times they just go away. And I started, I woke up one morning several weeks ago during my training session, during my training block. My low back was super tight, my hips were super tight, my glute was super tight, and I was like, oh, I kind of felt like an 80-year-old woman. So I went to my a chiropractor / he's like a physical therapist, and he did some soft tissue work, and he's like, you're super tight in your glutes. We kind of consulted with each other, and I modified my training, took my load down a little bit, just to kind of let things calm down, did some rolling and stretching, and things felt better. So I continued training for the marathon. I did skip my second 20-mile run, so I did do the first one, but I skipped the second one because of those niggles. But then I did actually have a really good run where I ran at marathon pace for 10 miles. So I felt pretty, at that point I was like, all right, this is gonna be okay, I'm gonna get through this. Knew that my paces were not where I wanted them to be. I had a goal for this marathon to try to Boston qualify. But my paces and training just weren't where I needed them to be confident in that goal or even close to that goal. And so that was already in my head, but I was like, it's fine. If I don't get my goal, I can still go and race and have a good experience and, move on from that. And, last week, I think, I went to the track and I went for one of 2 runs of that week because I was been tapering. And I felt some discomfort, not only in my upper hamstring on that same side where I'd been feeling the niggles, but in my adductor, kind of inner thigh groin area. And as soon as I started increasing my speed, it got worse. So I pulled back a little bit, stretched, rolled, swam the next day, ran the day after that, a slow, easy hour, and felt it almost immediately in the same spots. And I finished the run okay. It wasn't like bend over die, but it still hurt. So I went through, got through that week and went back to my chiropractor, and I said, I don't know if I should do this race. So, he basically, he assessed me for any stress fractures and stuff like that. There's no indication of that going on. But there is some muscle strains and, a little whatever. And there's some stuff I need to work on to improve my performance from from here on out. So he told me I could go and if I wanted to, and he didn't have any like big red hard stops, but I did some thinking, and I was like, I just don't feel right about this. It's gonna hurt. I could still feel my groin several days later, even after resting it. And so I know that running 26.2 miles hard enough healthy, it's gonna be really hard with a little ache. So that wasn't gonna feel good. I knew I wasn't gonna get my goal. It's not my first marathon, so I don't have that to try to do for myself. So mentally I was just feeling not on top of it. And ultimately I decided that I would benefit more from getting 100% healthy and then rebuilding and fixing the form things in my running that I need to fix on in my core, my pelvis area, to come back stronger. I reached out to the race director of Mountain to Beach. It's past the deferral time, but I reached out and let them know what was going on, and I did not expect anything, but they came back and said, we don't want you to push through. Why don't you come back next year if you're up for it? So now that to me was like the icing on the cake, the silver light, like the universe telling me to to take the deferral and not do the race this weekend. So it's the first time I've pulled out of a race unless I've been like 100% told not to. So, but it's kind of, that's the word I'm looking for, I guess grounding in a way. I feel at peace with my decision. I made the decision, a doctor didn't make the decision for me. I made the decision for me because I don't think it's the right thing for me to do this weekend. And I am okay with it. I am not gonna, I'm still gonna, I plan on having a fall season. I plan on have a big fall race. It'll either be a marathon or a 70.3. I haven't quite decided. Maybe both. We'll see how strong I come back. And for the next couple of months, I'm gonna do most of my focus on swimming, to really focus in on that and hone in on that. I am so fortunate that, you know, I've grown to love swimming so much because of this community around me. Before, as a runner only, if I got hurt, the whole world was ending, and I don't feel like that anymore. So I'm gonna set some swimming goals to keep me motivated. I'm gonna do some, you know, kayaking support for swimmers to have some fun, and I'm gonna really just hone in on that. I'm gonna work on my technique more in the pool, which is hard to do when you're running so much. I'm gonna get out in the ocean and sign up for some open water swim races, and then build back into triathlon. So I just wanted to come on here and share with that you can sometimes pull out of an event, whether it's for being sick or injured, and it doesn't have to be like you're on death's door. You know, you don't always have to push through because you think you should, or because you're signed up for something. You get to decide. I do this because I love it, not because I have to. I do this because it makes me happy, and if I don't feel like it's going to make me happy to do an event, then why go? And thankfully also, like, there's a financial, obviously we all pay money for this stuff, but as a marathon it was much cheaper than signing up for an Ironman. I probably would have tried to go through with it if it was an Ironman just because of the financial aspect of it, but marathon is not as expensive. We didn't have any travel that we didn't lose any money with travel, so it was an easier choice with that too. So I just wanted to kind of let people know that it's okay to just let things go sometimes. I know the last 2 years with COVID, a lot of times people are getting COVID a week or two or days before an event. Obviously if it's days before, please don't go and expose everyone, but even if it's a couple weeks before and you're not feeling 100%, you don't have to do it. You have nothing to prove. I have nothing to prove to anyone. So I did struggle a little bit mentally. I kind of boggled back and forth in my mind for a few days with my friends and my husband and my chiropractor about, you know, am I gonna let people down, and like, let who down, you know? And as a coach, if I can't tell myself when I shouldn't do something, then how are my athletes gonna trust me to tell them when they should maybe not do something? So, or at least give them the options of what could happen. And so I'm at peace with my decision. I'm sad, of course. I would have loved to have gone and done this race. I was really looking forward to it for a long time, but I'm okay. So that's what's going on with me. I'm still active for, you know, recovery purposes, or to keep active. I'm going to be swimming most days of the week, and doing strength training and a lot of stretching. Those will be my main focuses, doing some hikes and kayaking. And once I get a baseline with rehab, I will, you know, eventually add back in cycling, and then back in a walk-run interval, and then running again. But I will be smart about it. The reason I'm not cycling right away isn't because it's high impact, but is because of the hip flexor involvement in the cycling, and my hip flexor was real tight too. So I'm just trying to let everything just calm down. Swimming is the safest. I even put a pull buoy in between my knees yesterday to give that hip even more rest. But it's even feeling better today than it was yesterday. So I made the right choice. But I'm not going to be sedentary. Movement is medicine. I 100% believe that you don't get better by just sitting on the couch most of the time. So I will still be out there active and swimming in this beautiful ocean behind me, and learning, you know, accepting for what it is, and remembering that I do this because I love it, not because I have to. So that is what I have to say today. I hope that it helps some of you realize that it's okay to sometimes just pull back. And if you have any questions or, you know, thoughts about, you know, things, I would love to hear from you, and we can, you know, feel your feelings, but know that it's okay to move forward. So thank you for listening, and hope to talk to you guys soon.